we go. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. I gotta be honest with you. That game drove me nuts. I cannot believe the Buccaneers lost that game. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Tough one. Man, that was an absolute blazer from the Cooch, wasn't it?
What a crazy game. The Bulls are bowl-bound for the third season in a row. An incredible performance. And listen, we know the competition. They did what they had to do. No more silver linings. No more moral victories. It was put up or shut up time. And boy, did they rise to the occasion.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Recher podcast. Happy January 19, 2026, MLK Day. Love and respect to everybody out there. And I know a lot of people off today. A lot of people off work, a lot of people off of school. We appreciate everybody being here with us today on the program. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. I am everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. Make sure you share this on all of your social media platforms. And a big thank you to our partners, of course, Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC, all your residential and commercial needs, 813-244-0956, and EverHealth, our partners over there of the EverHealth Injury Report, every Thursday with our guy, Dr. Carlos Rodriguez, joining us on the program every Thursday at 12:30. Really, really good stuff there. What a show we have in line for you today, as the national championship is tonight. Our guy Ian Beckles, Indiana Hoosiers, Trisha Whitaker. I just posted the video a little while ago of Trisha when she joined us at the show on Friday when I was there live at Al Lang Stadium. And I said, what would a championship mean? She said, I will burn the town down. Not figuratively, not literally. But yeah, she's just so jacked up. I was just texting with her this morning. She's down there in South Florida. She's ready to roll. I'll be at Ian's place later on tonight, the Dignitary Cafe, if you guys want to come watch the game with us. 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard, the best kava and kratom in town. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great night. And Ian's going to join us at 12:30 today. I got my Beckles and Recher hoodie on, the throwback, to support him. I can't wait to see how he's feeling today. And we got specials. We got something special, I got to tell him. We got something special somebody special in his corner for tonight's game. So it's going to be a good one. Miami, Indiana, national championship game after an incredible weekend of NFL playoff action. We're going to break it all down. More job openings in the National Football League. We just found out a little while ago, a couple hours ago, that Sean McDermott is out in Buffalo. So Josh Allen will have a new head coach in the 2026 season. We'll discuss that and kind of how that affects the Bucs. 12:20. Who are you taking? CJ Stroud or Caleb Williams? So I think that's a fair question. And after what we saw this past weekend, what we've seen the last 2 weeks, I think you might have been thinking one way maybe 6 months ago, and now it's probably completely different. 12:30 again, Ian Beckles, 1 o'clock. The perfect spot for Mike McDaniel could be here with the Bucs, could be somewhere else. 1:10, we'll talk a little light now hockey. They just keep on rolling merrily along, going into Dallas and beating a damn good Stars team yesterday. It was kind of cool to be able to watch both games at the same time, the football game and the Lightning game. But when you win a game like you do against Dallas, it's just absolutely incredible. It says a lot, really does. And then 1:20, the biggest win of the weekend belonged to who? We'll discuss at 1:20 today. I always want to hear from you guys. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them there at the bottom of the screen. David Terry, big win for Man U, and of course, Liverpool craps the bed, of course. Nice win for the Lightning. Dave and Phil were praising their third period. That was as solid as it comes. What a weekend of football from Doan. Woods Buckin is in the house as well. Drew, Bills got hosed, but Josh Allen can't turn the ball over that many times. Seahawks look solid. We're painting the town red tonight. How the hell did we beat the Seahawks? You got that right, buddy. Canes Hoosiers game, a coin flip for me. A lot of people would rather take Caleb Williams than CJ Stroud. How things have changed. All right, 10 new coaches this season that we'll see in the 2026 season. It's an incredible cycle. And you have to wonder, would guys like John Harbaugh, would guys like Kevin Stefanski, who took the Giants and Falcons jobs respectively, would they have what kind of decision would they have had to make if they knew that this one was going to open up? And I said this yesterday. I was with a couple of Bills fans on Saturday watching the game, and it's kind of wild. I said to him, I said, this could be it for Sean McDermott. And I wouldn't be opposed to Joe Brady stepping up. And we see what Joe Brady can do. I mean, offensively, did you see the hook and lateral play they had at the end of regulation there? Unbelievable play calling. And I think it's about that time that they make that switch and make the move and elevate Joe Brady. Now, if they're going to go to a guy like Brian Daboll because of the success that he had when he was there with Josh Allen, you can understand that too. But I think Joe Brady's done an even better job with Josh Allen than Brian Daboll did. And the big thing with me is the way they run the football. I mean, remember, that wasn't even an option really early on in Josh Allen's career. It was just him. And then let's just try to throw to Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis and all these different guys. Now they utilize the run so much with James Cook. It's a beautiful thing. I would stick with Joe Brady. I think it's his time. He's a well-respected coach around the league at both levels, at college and the pros. I think it's the right time to be able to, ascend, give him as an ascension, keep that continuity with Josh Allen. John Momola, sad day today, my man. Caleb is the man for years to come. Can't wait for more, and we'll talk about that at 12:20 today. Our guy Dan, our good pal Dan Geary, I said this was coming. Time for a change in Buffalo. Yeah, we spoke about this weeks ago, my friends. It's that time, and that's why it's it's interesting. It's unique because there's so many changes in the NFL. 10 different coaches we'll see in 2026, and one of those will not be Todd Bowles. Like, it's kind of crazy to me that everybody else is making these decisions to move on. They need somebody else. I think about it. Think about the resumes for John Harbaugh. Think about the resumes for Mike Tomlin and Sean McDermott. And those three organizations thought that those were the guys that they need to move on from. And we're here with Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers. And it's, man. And I know how the Glazers operate. They're not just going to do something because somebody else wants them to do it. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen there. They're going to parse through this entire thing and not make a rash decision. That's just the way that they operate. And we do know, and just found out a couple of days ago, that some of the Glazer family did go to Manchester to have a discussion about where they're going forward. As we know, Ruben Amorim has moved on, and they've appointed Michael Carrick as their caretaker manager. That means he'll be the guy for the rest of the year. But in the summer, could they promote him to full-time? Could they go out and get a Luis Enrique or some of these other big names? Maybe. But the Glazers don't rush into it. So I don't know if the Glazers will look at what happened with Sean McDermott and see all these other names out there and panic. They're not going to go, well, that's what everybody else did. Now we got to do. That's not how they go about it. But when you watch this entire situation, it is kind of ironic that we are where we're at with the Buccaneers, and you're kind of sitting there and you're waiting on people to make decisions. Are you going to take a head coaching job? Are you going to take an offensive coordinator job? Where are you? What are you doing, Mike McDaniel? More on him in a little bit. But they have to nail this offensive coordinator job like as soon as humanly possible. Get this guy in the building, keep him in the building, and then go from there. But there's more and more jobs opening up. And listen, McDermott is a guy, if he wanted to get back into it, I don't think he'd have any issues getting a job. I really don't, because he did a good job. He did a good job. Don't get me wrong. Did he do enough? No. But that's what happens. You're going to have to move on. And people, you deal with sentiment too much when it comes to coaches and players. I get it. I get there's a human element. I get you have to take into account what guys have done for your team and your organization and your franchise. But sometimes the best moves are the hardest ones to make. And I think Buffalo made the right move today. Now, for all the people out there that are sitting there and they're bitching and they're moaning and complaining about the refereeing in that game, the Buffalo Bills can only blame themselves. They were not good enough. And you can talk about the Brandon Cooks situation all you want. I don't want to hear anything about good calls or bad calls. You turned the ball over 5 times and couldn't get it done. 2 picks for Josh Allen, fumbled twice. James Cook lost a fumble as well. You can't have a turnover margin like that and think you're going to win on the road in the playoffs. I know they had their fair share of injuries, but who doesn't at this time of year? You had a chance. This was your chance to make it through with no Mahomes, no Jackson, no Burrow, and you blew it. Josh Allen with some inaccurate throws. Like, you could see the pain on his face in the post-game press conference. And it wasn't just because they lost that game. It's because they lost an opportunity. This was their chance. And they blew it. I don't want to hear anything about the referees. Was it a bad call? Yes. I don't agree with it. It's kind of weird. You think the guy's down, and then you see the Devontae Adams play the very next day, and it's ruled completely different. All anybody wants is consistency and transparency when it comes to the officiating in the NFL. That's it. You like it, you don't like it, whatever. But just don't have a game on Saturday and a game on Sunday where you have 2 very similar plays and the calls are completely different. That's what pisses people off. Just give me some consistency and give me some transparency. That's it. But I don't want to hear it from anybody that whether you support the Bills or not, and you want to point to officiating as the reason that you lost that game. You blew it. This was your chance to make it to the promised land. And listen, forget about winning the Super Bowl, even just getting to the Super Bowl. You didn't do it. And we give a lot of love and a lot of credit and a lot of praise to these quarterbacks, and deservedly so. But Josh Allen did not play well enough to win a road playoff game against a good defense like that. Sorry. It's not personal. It's business. And you did not get the job done. And not only did it cost you a game, it cost you your season, and it also cost you your head coach's job. And you have nobody to blame but yourself. Look in the mirror. Josh Allen's going to be fine. He's very emotional right now. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's in the middle of his career. He's going to have another chance to climb back up that mountain. But it's almost impossible to look at this season. And I said it. That's why I picked him. Because sometimes when you watch sports, it's something bigger than the game. It's something that you can't quantify with numbers. And you look at the situation and you go, now's the time, Josh. Now's the time. Don't just sit there and expect everybody else to do the job for you. Go out there and take advantage of the situation. You got to play a clean football game. You can't go out there and play the game like that. There's a lot of sloppy football. As much as we talk about how great some of the games were, like even the Houston-New England game, like that wasn't the cleanest football game. As much as New England won that game, I mean, you look at how many times Drake May put the football on the ground. That's not endearing. That's not clean football. You're not going to win that way. So when I watch the Buffalo Bills, I mean, listen, there's plenty of players out there. And I know people are going to talk, well, he doesn't have this and he doesn't have that. Yeah, he had enough to win that game. They went into overtime. So when people say, well, he didn't have this, he didn't have that, he didn't have this, bullshit. You had James Cook, one of, if not the best running back in the game this year. You have arguably the greatest quarterback in the game. Again, with the excuses, nobody wants to hear the excuses. Guys find a way. The Rams found a way. Do you think the Rams played a great game yesterday on the road in Chicago? Stafford wasn't his cleanest. He wasn't his best. They found a way to win. The Tampa Bay Lightning are winning without Braden Point. The Tampa Bay Lightning went on the road to Dallas, one of the best teams in the National Hockey League. And they won that game easily, handily. Why? There's no excuses. They just go out there and they get the job done. That's what good teams do. And if you want to sit here and you want to make bullshit excuses and reasons why things don't happen, then you just embody the loser mentality that your fan base and your organization has. If you're sitting there bitching and moaning about things that you don't have control over. Bad call, get up and do something about it. Turn the football over, get a stop. What a novel idea. Bad calls are a part of the game. If you put yourself in a position like that, it's on you. It's on you. And I know what you're saying, King, about all the playmakers the Rams got on. Yeah, they're relatively healthy. But listen, you have Kincaid, right? You have Shakir. Brandon Cooks looked pretty good last week when he made that play against the Jaguars. You got James Cook. You got Ray Davis. It's not like the cupboard's bare. And you have Josh Allen. It's not always the most talented team that wins. It's the best team all the way around that wins games. Coaching, players, the three phases, offense, defense, special teams. That's what you got to do to be successful. But I don't want to hear anything about the Buffalo Bills and the complaining about the officiating, and that's the reason why they lost. Save that. Save that loser talk for somebody else. No, thank you, my friend. Boom, boom, boom. Our guy Hammer in the house. Yeah, man, I thought Josh Allen was going to be Superman the Bills to the Super Bowl. Couldn't get through Denver with 4 turnovers. Got greedy at the end of the first half. Take the 3 points. Yeah, I mean, that's the decision that McDermott's going to have to deal with, and he has to live with that decision. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. If you guys want to get in on the conversation, here is the link right there in the chat, StreamYard.com/VGD6 PPK GMV. If you want to get in on the conversation, just click on that link, whether you're here on your phone or on your laptop. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about wild card or with divisional weekends. I look at this weekend and I look at the San Francisco 49ers and the Seahawks, and you want to talk about a team that was just ravaged. You lose Fred Warner, you lose Tungus, you lose George Kittle. You lose McCaffrey in that game. It's just like there was nothing that even if they were fully healthy, I don't even know if they would have beat that Seattle Seahawks team. And you want to talk about the most impressive team, it's the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, I think they have the inside track on winning the Super Bowl. That defense is all over the place. The way that they run the football, the way that whether it's Kubiak calling the plays or McDonald with the defense, Seattle's they are just an absolute freaking monster right now. They are so complimentary with their football. Whatever it takes to win, they're going to do it. Kenneth Walker, who I know pissed a lot of people off with his lack of consistency fantasy football-wise this year, he's a terror. He is an absolute terror, and we know with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp and Sam Darnold playing the best football of his career, Seattle's scary. And I took San Francisco at plus 17.5 when they were down 17, and they just got the absolute crap beat out of them. I don't know if, you look at that game, and some people will say, is it San Fran? Is it Seattle? I think that game was just all Seattle. I think they're just vibing right now. The way that they go about their business, there's just no nonsense about them. And Baltimore letting a guy like Mike McDaniel go, that's awfully rough. Let's go to our guy, Eric Moreno. What's up, E? What do you got for me, buddy?
Jay, what's going on? Are you surprised the Bills fired McDermott after what happened?
No, not at all, man. Not at all. I think it's time to move on. I mean, to not even make it to a Super Bowl when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen.
Yeah.
No, sometimes you just got to make a change.
Yeah. I just wanted to I was going back and looking at the messages, and I can't. It's hard to not be sad. Yesterday was 1 year, and just gotta move on and just gotta honor my pops, just gotta honor him like he would, man.
That's right, buddy.
Going to Maui in 7 weeks.
You are?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
But I'm not traveling alone. I'm going with my I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, but it's like, oh, is that your twin? Is that your brother? You guys look alike. Yeah, so my cousin lives out in Maui, so yeah. I hope we get McDaniel. I think he would be like wonders for this offense. But I still think I heard he's getting head. I don't know if he would. I don't know if he still wants to be a head coach like the Browns and the Raiders. I don't know. I think the Bucs is a best option for him, and maybe the Lions.
Yeah, man, that would be pretty badass.
But he's highly coveted.
Yep, I'm with you, buddy. Well, Maui, bro, 7 weeks, man. That's gonna be amazing, brother. Make sure
you've been to Hawaii.
I have not been to Hawaii, but you know what? Make sure you take a lot of pictures and try to tune in to the show on when you're there. Try to tune into the show because we'll go live to you, our live reporter from Maui. How about that? Yeah,
that's like they're 5 hours behind, but it'll be 6 hours behind. So yeah, I'll probably be up.
Eric, I appreciate it, buddy. You stay strong, man. We appreciate you, pal.
All right. Appreciate it, Jay.
Right, you got it, buddy. Our guy E, a year ago yesterday, we lost his pops, man. And listen, we're always here for him. And you know, the wrecking crew, that's what you guys do, man. We appreciate you guys very, very much. Yeah, Maui, that should be a lot of fun. E, I hope you have a blast. Bart Hill in the house too. Yeah, we gotta make sure Eric gets up early. I know it's 6 hours, and he's got to get up at 6 a.m. Well, he can call in the 1 o'clock hour. Call in at 7 a.m. live from Maui. You could be our live Hawaii correspondent, Eric Moreno. All right, so here's the other thing. So I wanted to talk about CJ Stroud today, and I was just going to talk about him individually. But I don't know if I can because I look at him and I look at Caleb Williams, and you remember the interaction that they had back in 2024 after the game in Houston. You guys remember that, right? Do you? Well, that's why I posed this question. If you had the choice, would you take CJ Stroud or Caleb Williams right now to lead your franchise? And I remember when they met up after that regular season game in 2024, and CJ Stroud told Caleb he was going to be a hell of a player in this league and that he needs to take care of himself. And a lot of people were kind of looking at it like, it didn't come across as some sentimental, like really cool moment, partially because CJ Stroud said it and also because Caleb Williams didn't look like he took it that way. Well, I mean, he ain't wrong because Caleb Williams has turned into a hell of a player in this league. But since then, these two guys have gone in opposite directions. I mean, before you get into the numbers, you can just tell the difference. I mean, Stroud rarely looks comfortable. When he throws the ball, he doesn't really plant that back foot and let it rip. His balls don't seem to have a lot of zip. And it looks like with CJ Stroud, even if it's like a bad snap or even if it's a snap like he just, oh, there you go. Even if it's like a snap that hits him right on the hands and he drops it, like if something bad is going to happen to the Houston Texans offense, it's going to happen. And I don't have any faith in CJ Stroud right now. And I don't even know if Houston Texans fans do. He didn't look good in the game that they won against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They should have blown them out. But he kept them in the game. And then you look at what he did against the Patriots. 4 turnovers. We just said with Josh Allen, you're not going to win that way. CJ Stroud's not even half the quarterback that Josh Allen is. And you think that you're going to win games throwing 4 interceptions? And then you look at Caleb Williams. You know, he turns the football over too. But he's got a little bit of that Brett Favre gunslinger type mentality. And he just lets it fly. And he makes some incredible throws outside the numbers. He makes incredible throws on third down. We saw it again after 1 week after the crazy throw on fourth down to keep his team alive against the Packers. He makes the throw on fourth down at the end of regulation into the end zone to Cole Kmet to tie the game. Like there's something special about that kid. The kid's got that flair for the dramatic. You just can't teach that kind of stuff. You either have it or you don't. If somebody could bottle up that it factor and sell it, you'd be a freaking trillionaire. I don't think it's even close. I would take Caleb Williams 7 days a week and twice on Sunday night over CJ Stroud. And all this talk about Caleb Williams going into the NFL about he paints his nails and all these different things. Like, where are those people now? Where are those guys? Who gives a shit what color his nails are? You go out and you play quarterback the way that you did in the playoffs. I mean, incredible. Amazing. How much of that has to do with Ben Johnson? Yeah, it helps. It helps to have a guy like that in your corner calling plays. But you know what Ben Johnson doesn't do? He doesn't make those freaking incredible throws on a line and in big-time situations when the play breaks down. That's not Ben Johnson. That's Caleb Williams. I love watching that kid play. And the Bears, they got themselves a good one. He's going to go down if he stays on this trajectory. Caleb Williams is going to go down as the greatest quarterback in Chicago Bears history. And I know Jim McMahon quarterbacked them to a Super Bowl, right? But we know where that Super Bowl came from. And it wasn't Jim. But just watching that game and watching Chicago, and even though they lost that game, you lost to a damn good football team in the Rams. There's nothing to hang your head about if you're a Bears fan today. You are on the way, and you continue. And they did everything they had to do to support Caleb Williams. They drafted money guy. They went out and got the offensive lineman and Tooney and Dahlman. They went out and they drafted a guy like Luther Burden. They brought in DJ Moore. Like, look at all these different guys that they have. They drafted Colston Loveland. Now defensively, and I thought the secondary played fantastic against Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams yesterday. You get more guys. I mean, Montez Sweat did everything he had, gave everything he had, but you get more guys in the middle, the defensive tackle, more linebackers. Chicago's going to be a problem. This is just the beginning for them. And you know what, for Caleb Williams, and we keep hearing this, he's the first guy there and the last guy to leave. And he gets coached hard. And that's something that we know, that we've heard, that CJ Stroud is not necessarily a fan of. He has regressed big time since his rookie season. And save this offensive line narrative. He got sacked the least amount of times this year than he had in his entire career. Here's a list of the guys that got sacked more times this season than CJ Stroud. Justin Herbert, Drake May, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young, Sam Darnold. What do those guys all have in common? All 7 of them. They all made the playoffs. Now, they weren't the only 7 guys that got sacked more than CJ Stroud, but he was in the lower third of the starting quarterbacks of the league. I don't want to hear that. When you're rolling out to your left and there's nobody around and all you got to do is make a throw out to the flat and you get picked off by Carlton Davis, again, that's on you. And it is wild that this guy is just so careless with the football. Ask Houston Texans fans how comfortable they feel with CJ Stroud under center. They don't. You got an extension coming up. Would you be confident in paying that dude $50, $55, $60, $65 million a year? I wouldn't. No siree. And you have a damn good defense. You should have gotten blown out yesterday. But you have Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, for my money, the best tandem, the best duo when it comes to pass rushers this year. He's got to figure it out. I am not one of those people that is writing off CJ Stroud and thinks that he's a terrible quarterback and he's never going to figure it out, because sometimes it's a different situation. You get with the right offensive coordinator, you get with the right team. We see it with Baker, we see it with Sam Darnold. But you got to call a spade a spade. That shit is ugly. And the Houston Texans, this year he threw for over 300 yards once. He's never thrown for more than 24 touchdowns in the season. The Houston Texans are winning in spite of CJ Stroud, not because of him. And it's hard, man. It's hard when you look at that coaching staff and the defense and the special teams. I mean, I know we had guys injured, Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz, but again, you can't make excuses this time of year. Just got to get it done. Next man up, next guy in. That's all you can really do. The people that are making excuses, you know where they are at this time of year? They're home. But you heard me. For all the talk about they don't have a running game, they don't have an offensive line. The offensive line was better this year than it has been his entire career. Why is his offensive line getting better and he's getting worse? Something's got to give. Something has got to give. All right, guys and gals. This is the conversation that you've been waiting all day for. We'll bring him in. The confident, but not overconfident, but very confident, Ian Beckles joining us on the program. He's IU'd out. How you feeling, buddy? How are you feeling?
I'm just the right confident.
Right, you're the right confident?
Yeah, I'm not overconfident. I'm not underconfident. I'm just the right confident.
I'm with you, buddy. All right, a couple of things. Trisha Whitaker sends her best. Spoke to her the other day. She's super excited about this. She's down in South Florida.
Yep.
She said to send you her love, and she's jacked up about this in a big way. And we also have a very special person on your side, and it's the Lord, because my grandma is praying for you and the Indiana Hoosiers. So anytime we can get Gigi on your side and praying for Ian and Indiana, she's all about it. So I think we're in good shape for tonight.
Well, we got Nana Gigi on my side. I'm thinking about going to put some money on it. I got Nana Gigi. That's all I need. Now, the great Warren Sapp just hit me up, and I think he showed me about 10 pounds of a snow crab that he's going to bring to his tailgate tonight. And I said, I hang out with the poor folks, we beans and franks. But we got the better football team. We did bet $100. So I did give him my Zelle number.
Oh my gosh, here we go. I'm excited for you, man. I'm jacked up for you. I'll be over there tonight. I can't wait to be able to be. I got my Beckles and Recher hoodie on today.
Yeah.
In honor of you. And this is what you hope for as a sports fan, isn't it, Beck? Like, you get into an opportunity where you're one of the last two teams standing. And I want everybody out there to understand, let's not besmirch either one of these teams, whoever loses tonight. Because, Beck, right? I mean, you're one of the last two standing. All eyes are on Miami and Indiana. Regardless of who wins, this is a great story for college football, because football's better when Miami's in it. And it's good when you have a story like that and a story like Indiana, where you've gone through so many years of trials and tribulations, and you've been waiting since the Anthony Thompson, Ian Beckles years. And, man, this is a really nice matchup tonight down there in South Florida.
It's weird, because if you asked me 20 years ago, do I think that Indiana's going to be in a national championship game in my lifetime, I would have said zero chance.
Right.
I mean, there's a better chance me growing up with the Buccaneers winning a Super Bowl, and they did that a couple times. And the fact that the Hoosiers are in a national championship game is, to me, because there's people that cheer for their team forever and that don't see this.
Right.
And there's one thing I want to tell people. I have a lot of people telling me, well, you're going to be in a bunch of them. It don't work like that, okay? You were just talking about, those quarterbacks and those situations. People love to look forward, but you don't know, because after Jaden Daniels' rookie year, after C.J. Stroud's rookie year, like, all these guys are going to be Hall of Famers. Boy, that second year comes, and then the third and fourth year comes, and sometimes they go, the fifth year they catch themselves. This is not coincidence, okay? That's a hard thing to do. And, C.J. Stroud excelled. I guarantee you, look at that team. They were good everywhere around him, all right?
Right.
They weren't good everywhere around him yesterday. I didn't see that. I think their offensive line is pretty damn good. They just didn't have enough weapons that I saw. And they lost to a good football team.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm excited about tonight, and I'm not overconfident. I just think we have a better football team.
Yeah, I think winning the battle in the trenches, man, is going to be the key there. And just kind of Malachi Tony, I think, is another guy you got to keep in check, because he's such a dynamic player. I want to ask you about C.J. Stroud too. And I mean, I hated the way he looked yesterday, man. Even the game against Pittsburgh, they won. They dominated that game against the Steelers, and he was the only guy keeping him in it, dropping snaps, making bad throws. And it's weird how a guy can regress so much from year one, and their defense is as outstanding as it is. I mean, it shows that how hard the quarterback position is, right? But if I ask you, I was just saying this just now, if you had to pick one guy going forward to start your franchise with, are you going Caleb Williams or CJ Stroud?
at this moment, Caleb Williams. But
Isn't that crazy though?
I'm not sold on Caleb Williams. I think I like what I saw,
Yeah.
but I'm not sold because once again, we
It could
love
change
to,
so quick, didn't it?
yeah, in one year. Okay,
Mhm.
I didn't really love what I saw before this year, and this
Yeah.
year, if you look at Caleb Williams was good. He was
Mhm.
great. That's not
Right.
why they won, okay? And I think that's the issue with most fans and most fan bases is, and this is the issue with the quarterback position. There's no other sport where they look at an athlete and they go, he's 4-0. Your team is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like if you
Mhm.
talk about a basketball player, they go, well, he scored 40 points. If you score 40 points and your team is 2-5, you're still good. If you're a
Yeah.
quarterback and you're 2-6 and you're throwing for 80%, you're still not good. So it's one of those weird positions where you get blamed for everything. Josh Allen, who, I mean, you don't have to be a fan of Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a great football player, okay?
Yeah.
Josh Allen was the reason why they lost that game yesterday. If you
Yeah.
go back, he's the reason why they were in most of the games.
Right.
So football is funny, man, and you just don't, half the time, you don't know who to blame.
Yeah, and I think the Buffalo Bills have nobody to blame but themselves. I mean,
Facts.
it's just the way it goes, and it was a tough call. I don't think it was it's a weird call. You think, oh, he's down.
I get the call, though. I get it.
Yeah, I do. I don't know if I agree with it, but I understand it. One of those
Mhm.
things, like all these things, like the guy's got to have all right, catch the ball, he's down, and then the guy rips the ball out of his hands, and what guys are just going to go up to guys and try to rip the ball out of guys' hands now, right? Like that. If that's the way it goes.
Though. But watch this. If you're going down and somebody's ripping the ball out of your hands and then they let go of the ball, it's incomplete, right?
Right.
That means you didn't catch it.
Mm-hmm.
So the last person with the ball, because he didn't ever catch the ball, it's almost the same as tipping it. So to me, the defender, if you didn't catch the ball and the defender ends up with the ball, that's a defensive ball.
Yeah, I mean, snatched it away from him. I more want to than anything. When you look at that Chicago LA Rams game, I watched that game, and Caleb makes that incredible play, but I just like the Rams and the way that they did not let that knock them down, right? They just stay with it. Sean McVay stayed with it, and the Rams are just one of those. It's going to be a hell of a NFC championship game because the Seahawks just destroyed the 49ers, and now we're seeing an NFC West matchup. When we're looking at those two, who do you like in that game?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Jay. I've watched very little Seahawk football this year. I mean, I watched them against the Bucks, and I maybe watched one other game. I watched some of that game yesterday. They beat the tar. I mean, they really.
It wasn't even close.
No, they beat from the. I had money on San Francisco, which makes it a lot more fun to watch. And it's funny, nobody's talking about Seattle really, and they may be the most confident team out there. Once again, it's. Everybody wants to put on a quarterback, but boy, they're good everywhere. They're good everywhere. Running the football, stopping the run. And, going back to Indiana, everybody wants to put on a quarterback. If you take Indiana's quarterback out and you put another quarterback in, they're still a good football team. And that's the way I like to see football teams built. Like when we're built around a quarterback, bullshit. Okay, you should be able to put anybody in there and succeed. And I think Indiana's built that way. If you put me in a quarterback in Indiana, they can still score some points because I know they can pass protect, they can run the football, they can stop the run, they play defense, and we'll still be in the game. I don't know how many snaps I'll get, but we'll be in the game.
The Bills move on from Sean McDermott today.
Did they? I didn't see that.
Yeah, they got rid of Sean McDermott, and it's one of those things where you only get so many bites at the apple, right? And I think the reason why Josh Allen was so emotional in his post game, Beck, is because he kind of knew that it was a missed opportunity here. No Mahomes, no Burrow, no Jackson. You turned the ball over yourself 4 times. James Cook put the football on the ground. And I know the call, a lot of Buffalo fans are going to be hating it today, but they're the ones that ruined this. Like, it's on them, right? I mean, they turned the ball over 5 times. I think it was a -4 turnover margin. You expect to win a football game on the road in the playoffs like that? Like, as much as people want to point to officiating, you got to play clean football back at this time of year if you're going to win, especially on the road against a team that's got a damn good defense like Denver.
Every single playoff game that's won by 1 score people bring up a play.
Mm-hmm.
Every game. So what are we talking? I mean, it's one play. Okay. That's why when football coaches teach you mentality, all right? And this is something that maybe the average person doesn't understand. Everybody always goes, well, it's the last play of the game and let's work hard. How do you know that the first play of the game wasn't the most important play of the game?
Right.
It might have been. You don't know that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a mentality thing. And if you listen to Signetti talk, I love the answer when somebody said, well, how come you're never happy? He goes, well, if I show them I'm happy, then it kind of takes away from what I've really been teaching, which is to stay consistent. And all the coaches I've ever been around in my life, and I try to really keep my attitude this way in life, boy, if you're always real high and you're real low, and then it doesn't do you any good. If you kind of stay real even, it makes life a lot easier. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you're Todd Bowles, and then people get on you for that.
What? And I hate that. Jay, I hate that. No, I'm serious
I know.
about it.
I'm with you.
Like, people think that the way people do a press conference is the way they coach and the way that their players perceive them. Couldn't be any further from the truth. If you're sitting in a locker room and Tony Dungy walks up and he's stoic and he's talking to you and saying what you need to hear, it's going to affect some people differently than others. Some guy might be out there yelling, people might like that, okay? Everybody's different, man. I mean, it's about knowing what you're doing, okay? Being a man, treating people like a man. And right now, with all these coaches going all over the place, we got to get an offensive coach. Some of the best coaches in the world ever were defensive coaches. And they were leader of men that bring in great offensive coaches, and they go from there. So let's stop talking about we have to bring in an offensive person. It's ludicrous.
What do you think about John Harbaugh going to the Giants?
I think the second that Daboll got fired and Harbaugh was out, I said it's a perfect fit. It just sounds right. It
does sound like it sounds right. It looks right. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the great thing about football too. I was having this conversation the other day, and the next coach of the Steelers is going to be a great choice or an interesting choice because it's the most unique head coaching job in all professional sports, because every other team or franchise organization hires a guy and they say, all right, we'll see how you do in 2 years. The Steelers try to hire a guy for the next 2 decades. And it's such a unique thing because nobody else does that because
do they, Joe? Do they, Jay? Or is that the way it turned out? I think the Buccaneers wanted to hire people from decades, but it just didn't turn out that way. I mean,
I think it's stability from the top. If you don't do that, they do that with everybody. Yeah.
I think the Steelers are one of the best organizations in all sports, and by the way they run things. But the fact that they've had 3 coaches in that long of a time, there's a little luck in there too.
I don't dispute that.
Like when they brought in Tomlin, like everybody's going to go, oh, they brought in so-and-so. I don't know much about him. You didn't know nothing about Tomlin when he got in there.
They didn't. No.
So, I mean, I hate to comment on a coach coming in. I hate it. I really do.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a big name guy. He's been around before. And so what? How do I know? Who are his coordinators? There's so many questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, because people knew Sean McVay, but did they really know Sean McVay? Right.
Correct.
I mean, you're talking about he's building an all-time resume. I saw something today about how many playoff wins he has before the age of 40. Like it's nuts. Mm-hmm. But I think with that Steelers job, that they're going to take their time. Like Mike McCarthy's in the running, Shula's in the running. They wanted Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame. Like they get that guy that's in his late 30s, that's had some experience, that is going to be well vetted. I don't know if
he doesn't have to have a big name, though.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
It just has to suit what they're doing and their mentality, and I think that's perfect.
And I wonder. I got to look this up. Like when they went to go hire Mike Tomlin, who they spoke to, because there's no way. I may be wrong in this, but I don't think there's any way that the Steelers hire Mike Tomlin and don't talk to Tony Dungy. Right? You know what I mean? Like that's what the way that they go about their business, knowing that Tony was in the organization years before, right? Knowing that Mike Tomlin was not a head coach in the National Football League, like some way the Roonies reached out to Tony Dungy just to talk about Mike Tomlin at some point. Like that's when you are that ingrained into the National Football League. like the Giants, like they had Tom Coughlin reaching out to John Harbaugh, the Maras, the Tishes. Like these guys have been around forever, man. They've been around in the game longer than we've been alive. So I'm excited. I'm excited, even though I'm not a Steelers fan, to see which direction that they go. But you're right, Beck. It doesn't matter if you're a former coach. It doesn't matter if you're a no-name guy. It's all about the fit. It's all about your coordinators. And I think a guy like Mike McDaniel is a very interesting option. Could he be a head coach somewhere? Yeah. But we saw the report today that Mike McDaniel might like one of these offensive coordinator positions, including the one with the Buccaneers, better than some of the head coach. Like, if you had your choice, would you rather be the head coach of the Browns or the Titans or the offense coordinator with the Bucs? What would you choose?
Well, McDaniel, I mean, you always choose a head coach job because of the prestige. Because you can, okay, here's a good example, okay? Byron Leftwich, you think he thinks he should have taken that Jacksonville job? The answer is you should have taken that Jacksonville job because you know what you could always do, Jay? Step down. You could always be, once you're a head coach in the NFL, you could always be a coordinator because you got a name now. So if you get a chance to be a head coach, always become a head coach because he's always going to be a coordinator. For the rest of his life, Mike McDaniel, if he is a coordinator, he's going to be a big name coordinator because he was a head coach at one time. And then when you talk about teams like the Steelers, I think the Steelers may be the only organization out there that have to really look to find the right Mike McDaniel. You think he looks good in the Steeler uniform? Hell no.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same. It won't look, it doesn't sound or smell right. But the Steelers got to get that tough-nosed dude. Old boy from Dan Campbell. I can see him being a Steeler coach, but it's got to be kind of like that.
Yeah, I think the guy to me that stands out is Chris Shula. 39. He's about to turn 40 in February. He's the defensive coordinator for the Rams. That's to me is that type of hire, right? It's in his blood. Granddaddy was Don Shula. You know what I mean? Like, he's been with the Rams. He's a good young coach. He's respected around the league. Like, he would have been up for the Giants job too. So, I mean, that's one of those names to me where it's like Chris Shula, the name, he's got also the young pedigree working with Sean McVay, because Sean McVay is only going to put guys in there that are very forward thinking offensively and defensively. I could see a Chris Shula being that guy because it's almost like we know about him, but we don't know enough about him. And it seems like that's what the Steelers would usually do.
To me, the perfect fit, and I know it's not going to happen because of litigation, is Flores. I think he reeks of Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? But with the litigation and the suing, I mean, that's just not happening. That's in the John Gruden realm.
Do you think he'll get another head coaching job somewhere?
Not while he's suing the NFL.
Yeah.
He's lucky to have a job where he's at right now while he's suing the NFL.
Did a great job as the DC of the Minnesota Vikings. Would you take McDaniel as the OC for the Bucs?
Yes. 100%.
Would you be okay with him if he was the guy that went in after Bowles?
I don't like to do that. I don't like to look forward that way. You know.
Well, it's gonna happen. So the thing is that Mike McDaniel. Let's say Mike McDaniel is the offensive coordinator for the Bucs in the 2026 season. He will only be the offensive coordinator for 1 year. That's it. Because of a multitude of reasons. One, the only reason why he's taking an OC job with the Buccaneers this year is because he doesn't like the head coaching openings that are open right now. Right? Because he's interviewed with a bunch of different people. So he goes to the Bucs. His offense does well. You would think it would do well. He's either going to take over for a Todd Bowles team that they moved on from Todd, or he's going to do a good enough job where there was 10 openings this year. There's going to be at least a handful next year. So you're going to have your choice between 15, 16 jobs. He's the number one actually leader in the clubhouse right now for the Buffalo Bills job, according to the Vegas odds at plus 300. Mike Tomlin, Brian Dable, Joe Brady, Brian Flores. Those are the top five. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mike McDaniel came to the Buccaneers knowing that this is, either your job in waiting or a guy that, you can use this to parlay it to a head coaching job next year.
I'm okay with him being an offensive coordinator here, but if I owned an NFL team, I'm not sure I want him to be my head coach. I'm not sure he's mature enough right now. I think he has a little maturing to do personally, because I'm not a big fan of everybody talking about losing the locker room and stuff like that. From an outsider, something didn't look right in Miami. Okay, so
Was
I
that
don't
on
know.
him though?
What was that?
Do you think that's on him though? I mean, I'm with you because you and I both thought that he was going to lose his job, and especially after the whole stuff with Tua and
Yeah.
everything, and that right. But I mean, this is a team that after you fire the GM, after Tua's not playing that well, I mean, they battled their ass off down the stretch. You know what I mean? Like they beat the Buccaneers, they won 4 in a row, they beat the Bills, you know what I mean? So it's just like I look at that team and they could have went into the shitter. They finished 7-10, which to me they didn't give up on their head coach, where it looked like they had every chance to do so. And we've seen that. We saw it with Daboll. We've seen it with other guys where it's just like it just gets worse and worse and worse. He lost his GM, traded away his best pass rusher, lost his quarterback, and they still fought down the stretch. So I don't know if he lost his locker room. Does that mean anything to you going forward as far as how you look at Mike McDaniel as a head coach? Not saying that I don't think he needs to mature at all, but I think if it was as bad as some people let on, that it would have been much worse down the stretch.
He's not my type of coach. Maybe he's other people's types of coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you would talk even after last year, okay? And you could ask me, who would you want your coach or team, McDaniel or Mike Vrabel? I'd say Mike Vrabel. That's just his teams look and feel different, right? McDaniel's teams don't look and feel like the way I want my teams to look and feel. Because, like, when I'm hearing other teams going into Miami saying they don't practice hard and they're not physical, and that's not really conducive to winning championships. I've never heard of a lot of unphysical football teams winning championships. So that's the main thing. When I say Harbaugh football team, what do you say? Hard-nosed. When I say McDaniel's football team, I don't think anybody says hard-nosed. It's high-flying.
Yeah, scheme and
innovative,
kind of stuff.
Chip Kelly, fancy type shit. I don't do that. I would rather be the Pittsburgh Steelers, line up and run it down your throat, than to have to depend on high flying and fooling people, and that doesn't work in the long run.
McDermott, Tomlin, Harbaugh, all out, and Todd Bowles is still with the Buccaneers. Yeah. And there's a lot of fans today. Like the more you see guys, more organizations move on from these coaches that have a better head coaching pedigree than Todd Bowles. There's a lot of unhappy Buck fans today. It's kind of wild, like how the whole situation worked out. And I wonder if teams like Atlanta, who hire Kevin Stefanski, or or I wonder if Kevin Stefanski or John Harbaugh would have been interested in that Bills job. Right? It's kind of crazy. The timing is really unique for this whole thing.
Well, let me say something. I said it a little bit on my podcast earlier, and I think I heard it this morning when I was listening to Pat. Pat was on by himself on Pat and Aaron's show, and he said something I couldn't agree with anymore. Now, it's okay to have an opinion on what you think should happen with the coaching decision. If you're a Buccaneer fan, once the coaching decision is made, live with it.
That's it. Yep.
Live with it. Because now that Todd Bowles is going to be our boss next year, I don't want to fucking hear you don't want him here no more.
Exactly.
It doesn't sound good.
You're shouting into the abyss.
As a fan base, it sounds like you're some belly aching. We just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. Nobody wants to hear about you not wanting me. We want somebody. Okay. You think we're going to be better with McDermott than Todd Bowles? We don't know that. So let's listen. This is your team, okay? That's your coach. Your coach, believe it or not, whether you like it or not, overachieved last year with what happened with this football team. Nobody can tell me that Todd Bowles didn't overachieve as a coach with what happened with this squad last year, because if I told you this, let me change the page. This, and this are going to happen. There's no way you tell me they win 8 games, and they won 8 games. So, to me, that's a pretty darn good job.
All right, we'll finish off with this, Beck. Tonight is the night. Indiana, Miami, the 2026 National Championship game. Let's hear it, buddy. Let's hear it. What is your prediction for tonight's game? Other than just pain, what is going to happen tonight?
Well, without being exact, I'm just going to give you a kind of round-the-way fillet type of thing. Miami's going to drive the ball down the field on first drive, score a touchdown, 7-0 Miami. Final score, 31-13 Indiana. And it was just a dismantling and an evisceration of the ibis in Miami. Thank you for asking.
Oh man, what is that smack talk going to be like with Warren Sapp after this one?
Well, if we lose, I don't want to hear it. But if we win, I mean, I could spin a little bit. I'm able.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Ian Beckles, look, he's happy. Look at the helmet. He's ready to. Are you going to wear that helmet tonight?
No, sir.
It doesn't fit, does it?
My head's too big. My head grew. My head big.
At Ian Beckles Show on Instagram and on YouTube. Make sure you watch the In the Trenches podcast, Beckles and Recher podcast every Wednesday around 2:30.
How about a Dignitary Cafe to watch the game tonight with the great Jay Recher?
That's right, 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard. I'll be there. Josh 1. Is he Josh 1 or Josh 2?
That's Josh 2, but I think Josh 1 and Josh 2 will be here. And
wow.
Maybe even Josh 3.
What about Bert?
Bert's omnipresent.
Bert is everywhere.
Yes, he is.
What about Tom Ponzo? Is he going to hang out or what?
The great Tom Ponzo is recovering from a procedure.
I got to text him. Is he doing all right?
Yeah, he's a trooper. He ain't going nowhere. He's all right.
Yeah, you got that right. All right, buddy. Well, I'll see you tonight. Remember, Gigi sends her love. The entire Recher family sends their love. The Hoosiers are representing in Central Islip, New York today. So appreciate you, my dog, and I'll see you tonight. One
love to Gigi. 3113 Indiana.
You heard it here first. One love. Appreciate you, buddy. Good stuff, as always, with our guy, Ian Beckles. Man, it's going to be an exciting game tonight. Cannot wait. Cannot wait to be there with Ian. Again, man, if you want to watch the game, come hang out with us. 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard. Come check and kick it with us. Yeah, they're 420 friendly there. Not me, but, they are. It's going to be a lot of fun. Kids are at Chuck E. Cheese today, so they're having fun. My dad loves the slow-mo videos, which is pretty fun. Abraham George Vatakencherry. Oh, I like that name. Great show, Jane Ian. Go Hoosiers. I love the underdog story. You got that right. Have a great day, Skills. I don't even know if they're the underdogs, to be fair, which is kind of crazy. It's going to be wild. Tonight's game is going to be nuts. Ian's going to be he's going to be off his rocker. I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. All right. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. I'm a little bit everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. I want to tell you guys about my friends over at Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC. Go there for all your residential and commercial needs. My guy Hammer, you see him here. He chimes in on the program. He calls in every once in a while. He's a USF grad, just like a bunch of us out here. Not a bunch of us. I wasn't a USF grad, but I act like it. Damn it. A Team Tampa Bay guy. You want to support local. This is the guy you want to support. And again, you're not just working on your house, you're working on your home. And I know how sentimental, I know how important it is to people. Like, this is a place you're raising a family in. You're living through all of these crazy weather, all the stuff with the weather, right? It's like so much stuff that we have going on. You want to be able to trust a company like Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC. Again, they are the best. Tell them that you heard it right here on the Jay Recher podcast, and get you a discount just by mentioning that you heard it right here on the Jay Recher podcast. And of course, EverHealth, everhealth.org, 17 different locations in Pinellas County. Our guy, Dr. Rodriguez, joins us every Thursday on the program for the EverHealth Injury Report at 12:30. It just gets better and better and better every single week with the doc. He is the man. The Braden Point injury. You want to hear the real talk about the Braden Point injury that you're not going to get anywhere else? Go check it out. It's on all of my social media platforms at Jay Recher. But again, 17 different locations in Pinellas County. And the EverHealth Institute, I was just talking about that with somebody the other day. If you're looking to change careers, if you're looking to get into the healthcare field, you can learn. You can get on-the-job training right there at the EverHealth Institute. And it's very similar to the broadcasting school that I went to get in to sports media. So you really want to go about this. everhealth.org. Again, tell them that you heard it right here on the Jay Recher podcast. What do I know about the Bucks OC job? I know that it's open. Vatican. Oh, wait. Vatican. Abraham Vatican. Oh, nice, man. I appreciate you, buddy. Let me get on here. Abraham Vatican Cherry. Okay, thank you, Abraham. Abraham George Vatican Cherry. Wow, I like that, man. What a name. I like that. Abraham George Vatican Cherry. Nice. What a great name. That's awesome, man. Tough loss for USF. Obviously, we saw that one to Wichita State. Yeah, it was a tough one, man. It was a tough one. God, they're in some of these close games. They really are. They're in these tough battles, but they got to put it all together, and hopefully they can get better and better as the year goes on. I still think the front runner for the Bucs job for the OC is Mike McDaniel, but if I'm Mike McDaniel, like, see, when I look at this entire situation, and I know what Ian just said about Mike McDaniel, the thing that makes the most sense to me is Mike McDaniel going to Las Vegas and being the head coach of the Raiders. I don't know what it is about that job. I mean, Vegas, we know Vegas with the glitz and glamour. You got Spy Tech, you got Tom Brady there. You'll have you'll have the number 1 overall pick. You'll have Ashton Genty, and you'll have Brock Bowers. I mean, that to me makes too much sense. I mean, you're going to try to go in a completely different direction than what you did when you had Pete Carroll there. So Mike McDaniel as the head coach, he'll be calling plays for Fernando Mendoza, Ashton Genty, and Brock Bowers. I mean, think about that. You get a couple of pieces on the offensive line. Defensively, you get some pieces over there. I mean, obviously, I don't expect them to be world beaters in year 1. But, I mean, what a foundation. What a foundation for that team. With Mendoza, Genty, Bowers. You still got Michael Mayer there. With Mike McDaniel as your play caller. I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, what do I want? I want Mike McDaniel to be the offensive coordinator of the Buccaneers. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think when you look at, and I said this before, if you don't like Mike McDaniel as a guy as your head coach, that's fine. But I think as of right now, and the fact that he hasn't gotten hired yet, I don't know, man. And I get it. I know what Ian says, and I know what a lot of people say, and they're talking about this job and that job, and it's great to be a head coaching job. There's only 32 of them in the league. I understand that. I get that. But I also think there's something to be said about leverage when you have already been a head coach in the league. I don't look at this situation like it's a Byron Leftwich situation. I think Byron got it because, and I think there was a lot of holes to poke into the rationale that Byron Leftwich would be a guy that would be a good head coach. And the number one, the biggest hole there was that he worked with Tom Brady, and he was getting credit for some of the success that I don't know if he really had that much to do with. Mike McDaniel, we know, was putting a guy like Tua Tagovailoa in a position to succeed. They're scoring 70 points. You had Tyreek Hill. You had Jalen Waddle. You had Achane. You had Mostert. You had all these different guys. What would he like? What would he look like here with the Buccaneers? I think this is the number one. The Buccaneers have to do whatever it takes to bring Mike McDaniel in. I don't want to hear about Zach Robinson. I don't want to hear about Nate Scheelhaas. I don't want to hear about Brian Callahan right now. Right now. If McDaniel takes a job elsewhere, then I think those are the plan B, C, D. It'd be great. But Mike McDaniel in this offense with Baker Mayfield working on short passes, working on getting the ball out of his hands quickly, working on pre-snap motion, working on being deceptive when it comes to keeping the defense or the defense off of their, on their heels, off their toes. I couldn't think of a better guy to run this Buccaneers offense than Mike McDaniel. And if I'm him, I like I just said with Ian, I don't look at this situation where I have to strike now because I'm not going to get any opportunities in the future. As much as you may not want it to be, I'm looking for the next young offensive coordinator mind. It's the way it is. It's copycat league. And as much as Sean McVay is going to have success, and I truly think that Joe Brady's going to be in the running for that job there in Buffalo, I just think this is the right guy. And I think that if he doesn't like the Titans and he doesn't like the Browns and doesn't like some of these offers out there, I think he'll go and take the Bucs job because he's not an idiot. He's not an idiot. He's a very smart guy, and he's going to look around. He's going to get all these weapons that he has, and he's going to look at Todd Bowles. And I think this is a win-win situation. If Mike McDaniel doesn't get the Bills job or he doesn't get the Raiders job, I think he's the offensive coordinator of the Bucs next season. I don't think he'll go anywhere else. I think Atlanta screwed up. I thought Atlanta should have went after him because you put him in that offense with Michael Penix Jr. and Bijan Robinson and Drake London, and man, that would have been a problem. Because Zach Robinson did a decent job this year. I mean, no, they moved on from him, but it was better than it was last year. They finally figured out how to utilize Kyle Pitts. It only took them forever. But I look at this situation with Mike McDaniel and, go out and get him. I think that's the first step into making fans feel a lot better about the season coming up. Ian brought up a good point, and Pat said it, obviously, I guess, on the show today, but I told you guys this on Thursday and Friday. Enough is enough. Enough is enough with we want Bowles gone. He's not gone. He's going to be here. So what do you do now? Are you going to cheer for the Bucs, or are you going to cheer for Todd Bowles to lose? That's kind of shitty. You want him to be able to figure it out. You want him to be able to change and to be open-minded. And listen, maybe with more pieces defensively, maybe with more of a pass rush, maybe with bringing in Mike McDaniel, who is a freaking genius offensively, maybe that turns the Buccaneers into contenders. Sometimes it's just one move. Sometimes it's just one move, bringing in a guy. I mean, you look at what Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel have done this year. If that isn't an inclination that things can change and get turned on their head in 1 year, I don't know what is. I mean, Ben Johnson coming in there with the Chicago Bears and being the head coach and being the play caller and working with Caleb Williams and utilizing. Listen, it's not just them, right? But you get that paired with the draft picks and the free agents and put it all together. I'm very happy with how the year went if I'm a Chicago Bears fan today. Disappointing with how it ended. But I still think there was uncertainty going in this year. Even the most optimistic of Bears fans looking at the division that you're in with the Vikings, with the Lions, with the Packers. You knew it was going to be an uphill battle, but you showed a lot of heart and tenacity. And your quarterback made some incredible plays down the stretch. And Ben Johnson did a phenomenal job in year one with the Bears. Appointing that guy can make a world of difference. Sometimes it takes a couple years, like Mike McDaniel, but then you can have 1 year turnaround like we see with Mike Vrabel. The roster isn't as different as the Bears roster from what we can see. I love some of the pieces that they have. Carlton Davis is turning back the clock with his play. I love Robert Spillane. And then offensively, getting a bunch of different guys involved, moving the football around. Drake May still putting the ball on the ground, probably a little bit too much for my liking. But he's another guy that makes plays with his legs when he needs to. Makes accurate throws when he needs to. I mean, that's the thing. You want to talk about numbers and percentages and things like that. I mean, make the plays when they count. I'd rather a guy go 1 for 7 in the first quarter and 7 for 7 in the fourth than the opposite. You got to go deep inside the numbers because the numbers don't tell you everything. Numbers and statistics are like bikinis. They show you some things. They don't show you everything. Buck Skull gang in house. I wonder if Evans is coming back. That's the question. I think you have a much better chance of Mike Evans coming back next year if Mike McDaniel is your offensive coordinator. I really do. I still wouldn't rule out Mike Evans playing for the Cowboys or the Texans next year. He's from Galveston. I just, as much as we say, well, we'd love, I can't see him in a different uniform. You saw Sapp in a different uniform. You saw Lynch in a different uniform. Yeah, it wouldn't be great, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's his decision. You've played this long. You've gone about your business in the right way where you get to a point in your career where you get to make the choice of where you want to play. If he wants to be a one-team guy, I think the Buccaneers will welcome him back with open arms. If he wants to move on, there's only so much really that the Bucs can do. Levante David, I think we'll hear his decision here in the next couple of weeks. Because I still think Mike can perform at a high level and really be a threat on the outside. I don't know about Levante. And I think sometimes you have to make those tough decisions and you have to move on. I had a conversation yesterday or on Friday with Coach Dominic Cassiato from the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And him and I were talking about moving on. And there was a lot of, names that have been with the Rowdies for a while now. And, you can't build your roster with sentiment. You got to make sure that you're ahead of the curve. You got young, fast guys. It's just the way it goes, man. Buccaneers got to get younger in positions. They got to get faster in positions. They need to do whatever they have to do to battle in this division because it's not going to get any easier. I think the NFC South is taking steps forward. And we haven't been able to say that the last couple of years, but they're taking steps forward. Carolina, this was a big year for them. Getting better, getting stronger, winning some close games. They got the right guy with Dave Canales. Tyler Shuck seems to be the man in New Orleans. Kellen Moore, I think that relationship, that partnership has worked out well. And then the Atlanta Falcons, with Kevin Stefanski, we'll see. Michael Penix Jr. obviously has to be healthy, but the offense fixed some things. They went out and addressed their defense in a big way in the draft. They can rush the passer finally. What a huge turnaround it was for them. We'll see. We shall see. All right. How about our Tampa Bay Lightning? My God. This Tampa Bay Lightning team, when you just watch what they do, they're the hottest team in all of sports right now. They just continue. The game that they lost the other night in Pittsburgh, they lost in St. Louis. It was in the shootout. And then they come right back. And, if they didn't play their best or you look at the situation and go, I wouldn't be surprised if they took an L here. They go into Dallas and they put forth a dominating performance to beat one of the best teams in the National Hockey League 4-1. And when you look at Dallas in any other division, well, no, I guess not. They'd be in second in most, but they're just Colorado's in front of them. This is a team that's 12-7-3 at home. This is one of the better teams in the league. And the Tampa Bay Lightning go in there and they take care of business. Look at the Lightning are even on points with the Detroit Red Wings with 64, and they have 3 games in hand. They're 9-0-1 in their last 10. And when you watch them play, you can tell why. And the guy that stood out to me the most yesterday was Jake Gensel. This is a guy who's so freaking consistent. He's like a metronome every single game. This guy's going to be there. This guy's going to go into the corners. This guy's going to make smart plays. He's going to be in all 3 zones, being probably the highest IQ guy out there. No matter who you play him with, Jake Gensel is going to contribute in a big way. And it's really, I think, a credit to Julien Brisebois going out and being so forthright in making sure that he's the guy that you're going to commit to for a damn near decade, right? I love this. I love watching this team play. And my only concern is that they're going to be coming up to the Olympic break soon. And, they're going to be in the middle of playing so well. But this could be a benefit for them in the long run. Because you're going to be out of action. You're going to have guys like Vazzy and Cooch that aren't going to be playing. But that's, they're going to have the most representation out of anybody in the Olympics. Does that scare you? Does that worry it? Maybe a little bit, but this is where you're going to have to lean on your depth. And John Cooper, and you had practice with this last year with the Four Nations. And we saw this right after the Four Nations with Coop, and he really took his time with some of those guys that were playing in that tournament. Those guys had extra days off. He was very careful with the schedule for those dudes, and it's going to be like that again this year. When you look at Sorelli, when you look at Gergensons, and you look at Gensel and Hagel and Holmberg and Braden Point, if he can play, Cherney, Hetty, JJ Moser. But I just love watching these guys right now. And you watch a guy like Nikita Kucherov, and there's just something just stellar about his play. The pass that he made yesterday to Hagel for his goal, where he kind of just stuffed it in at the side of the net. The vision that Kucherov has, and no matter what he does, and it could be frustrating with his play sometimes, but when he's on a heater, when he's playing like he is right now, there's just nobody that plays like him. Not McDavid, not McKinnon, not anybody, because of the speed that he goes about his game. He doesn't have to beat you over the head with his physicality. He doesn't have to blow by you with his speed. And that's why Nathan McKinnon is such a big Nikita Kucherov fan, because this is a dude that he computes all the stuff in his head. And the only thing that moves fast on the ice is Nikita Kucherov's brain. It's unbelievable to watch. And Braden Point not being in the lineup, again, there's no excuse. I don't want to hear any excuses from any teams out there. Not hockey, not football, not baseball, not nothing. I mean, it's one thing if you're the 49ers and you lost pretty much everybody because you need talent to win. I get that. But the Lightning don't have Hedman in there. They don't have McDonough in there. They don't have Lilleberg in there. And they haven't had Braden Point in there. What's their excuse? They don't make any. They just go out there and do the job. What is Tampa going to do at the deadline this year? I don't know if they're going to do much. I think this is going to be one of the more quieter deadlines that we've seen all year long. What can they get better at? I mean, unless the only thing that they're going to do, if it's not a depth piece, because, you know, they can always use help on the blue line. You get out a, you know, Braden, Luke Shen kind of thing. Maybe. But the only move that I think that they would make, it would be moving on from Oliver Bjorkstrand. And I think the only way you do that is if you have another guy that you bring in, like a Mika Zibanejad or Steven Stamkos or something like that. That's the only thing that I see that you would do. Other than that, I don't understand. So here's the thing too. And Hammer, why do you think McDaniel would choose us over Detroit or Philly? Because I think he'd have full autonomy in the offensive side of the ball. I think it would be one of those things where Todd Bowles would just be like, go do your thing. Would you want to work with a Nick Sirianni? I think Detroit would be a better, would be a better option. But what does he think of a guy like Jared Goff? And I think that would be another thing that would fit them. I think that offense would fit them pretty well. But yeah, maybe he sees it down here. Maybe he sees, he likes the Florida lifestyle. I think he also knows that, you hate to say it, but there would be an option to be the head coach here next year. I don't think that, you may feel that in Philly. They got to just get a chance to go on 13-4 next year and going back to the Super Bowl with all the talent they have. Dan Campbell, they're not moving on from him in Detroit. So I think down here, you look at it, you're familiar with the weather, you like the weapons, you probably likes Baker. Mike McDaniel, I mean, think about it. If you're Mike McDaniel, Baker's probably a Mike McDaniel kind of guy, right? So I don't know. One name I want, it's kind of weird for hockey, but Artemi Panarin is a guy that the Rangers, and they put out this message that they're not going to bring back, or they're going to make these changes. They're doing another letter. They did a letter years ago talking about a rebuild. That's right before they traded Ryan McDonough to the Lightning, and they're doing it again this year. They signed Igor Shesterkin this big contract. He's hurt, and they've just been wildly underperforming. They're the last place team in the Atlantic Division, and they've notified Artemi Panarin that they're not going to sign him after this year. I wonder if a guy like Vinny Trocheck or a guy like Artemi Panarin wouldn't be a good fit with the Lightning. Trocheck is a second-line guy, but here's the thing. If you move a guy like Trocheck, then in essence, what you're saying is that Anthony Cirelli is going to be your third-line center. I just don't know if that's going to happen. I think you would have to move a guy like Anthony Cirelli or move a guy like Nick Paul if you're bringing Trocheck in. Because then where do you put Nick Paul? I think his best work is in the middle. So is he your fourth line center? I think he's probably too good for that. And then what happens to Yanni Gordon? That's the best line you got. Gord, Girgensons, and Holmberg. Do you move a Bjorkstrand for a Trocheck? I mean, Trocheck is a guy that I think would fit in fantastic with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He would be, you could use him on the first power play unit or the second power play unit, and he'd be a dynamite face-off guy and a right-handed face-off guy. So now you can utilize him. I mean, your last three guys of a Cirelli, Hagel, Kucherov, Trocheck, like you can't go wrong there. But Panarin's another guy. I know Julian doesn't do a rental. If you can get him on the cheap, he loves Tampa. He loves Nikita Kucherov. I don't know. That's something to certainly keep an eye on. But I think Trocheck would be a great fit. I just don't know who you move, right? All right. Kiefer Sherwood has been traded to the San Jose Sharks for 2 second-round picks and defenseman Cole Clayton. So Kiefer Sherwood going to the Sharks to play with Macklin Celebrini, and we'll see if he is in the lineup tomorrow night as the Lightning return home. And, sorry. Just want to make sure I got everything for you guys. Tomorrow we will be live from Benchmark International Arena before the Lightning and Sharks go head-to-head. All right, before we go, the biggest win this entire weekend wasn't on the baseball field or the basketball court or the hockey rink or the football field, but it was on the football pitch. Manchester United over Manchester City. What an incredible game that was. I got up because I'm crazy and I just, I'm a glutton for punishment. To watch Manchester United win the way that they did over Man City, a 2-0 victory, and it could have been even worse. Harry Maguire hit the crossbar in the 3rd minute. Ahmad hit the post later on. Casemiro had a chance. Mbumo had a chance. They had 3 goals that were whistled for offside. It could have been 7 or 8-0. And the first game with Michael Carrick at the helm was just incredible. And they went back to a back 4. They just looked a lot more concrete. They looked a lot more solid. I mean, Lissandro Martinez and Harry Maguire did an incredible job as the center backs against Erling Haaland, one of the best strikers in the world. And I just have one message for Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes and Roy Keane and Gary Neville and all these guys that I grew up loving and cheering for. I mean, you guys got to stop taking your job so damn serious. You're pundits, you're experts, and all you're doing is just, you sound so fucking miserable talking about Manchester United. It's a lot. It's too much. Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes, two of the, not Nicky Butt, but Paul Scholes, one of the greatest players of all time, talking about how Erling Haaland was going to put Lisandro Martinez in his pocket and carry him all around the pitch. He didn't do jack shit, and they substituted his ass with 10 minutes left. I mean, y'all got to understand that these teams are not the same teams that you played for in the 90s, and you just come off looking bitter and out of touch, and you're losing a lot of people. That's the same thing here. Like, again, you listen to Ryan Clark talking at halftime about CJ Stroud and blaming everybody else around him like it's not his fault. Like, all right, bro, we get it. And that's why I have the person I probably listen to the least in all sports is Ryan Clark. Everything is race-driven. Everything is some kind of narrative. And it's just like, dude, get over yourself. It's a lot. That's why I love the new NBA Amazon coverage with Blake Griffin and the guys over there and Dirk Nowitzki and Nash. And like, bro, that is what it's all about. Just talk about the game. Talk about the game in which you see. Give us some insight. Don't give us some, contrived opinion on narratives. And it's just it's like political bullshit all the time. You share an agent with CJ Stroud, Ryan Clark, you do? Oh, wow. Shocking that has anything to do with what your opinion is. My God, enough of the talking head bullshit. I don't even watch it. It just comes across social media. I don't watch Get Up. I don't watch any of the First Take. I don't watch any of that. None. It's so tiresome and boring. And all people are going to do is point to the ratings. Like, all right, we get it. Ratings are just so overblown sometimes. Are people going out of their way to watch this stuff, to listen to this stuff? No, a lot of that stuff is just default. You just snap and you put it on. I put ESPN on as background noise in the morning if it is on. And the only time I'm turning on ESPN is if I'm watching a game of some sort. Maybe Sports Center. But these talking head shows, that shit is for the birds. Keep it moving. Matthew Tkachuk back in there tonight for the Florida Panthers. So, I mean, not great for an opponent of the Panthers in the National Hockey League, but very great. If you are a fan of Team USA hockey, we need the Tkachuks, we need McAvoy, we need everybody. Team USA going for gold. I thought we matched up really well for them. We're going to have to play a physical game against the Canadians if we're going to win. I feel a lot better if Tkachuk and McAvoy are in the lineup. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me on this Monday. A big thank you to Ian Beckles joining us on the program today. He's so excited about tonight. Come check out the game tonight, 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard. Come kick it with us. A big thank you to our partners, Honest Hammer Custom Builders, Evra Health as well. Guys, we'll be talking to Rich Hollenberg this week, Julie Stewart-Binks this week. We'll also be live from Benchmark International Arena tomorrow. We've got Ed Encina, Eric Erlandson, and, of course, Dr. Carlos Rodriguez joining us on the program. I love you guys. Thank you all for the love and the support. Again, shout out to Honest Hammer and Evra Health, our partners here on the program. Could not do this without them. Could not do it without you. Everybody have a wonderful Monday. We'll see you tomorrow from the arena, live on the Jay Recher Podcast. I'm gone. Peace out.